All right, we're back for some more watercolor techniques. Now that we've done our first three, we're going to up the ante a little bit here and try blending some multiple colors together. And we're going to get a little bit more precise. So in this video, we're going to learn about creating gradients. And this is very much similar to the last one we did. So when you created your built-up color or your gradient or your ombre, you were going from very light to darker. And what we're going to do now is we're going to start with one color and we're going to fade into another color. First of all, I would pick two colors that are next to each other on the paint palette. If you pick red and green, for example, you're going to get a muddy brown, which is not super fun. So I'm going to go with orange through or red through yellow. I'm going to do my warm colors here. I'm going to start off with the yellow because it's usually easiest to start with your lightest color. So I'm going to work with a little yellow. I'm going to put down the full amount here. And then I'm going to use my dry brush to pick up a little bit of that paint here where I want it to start getting a little lighter. And then I am going to go into the middle with a little orange. So I'm going to start where I don't see any, overlap here. I'm going to put down a little color. I'm going to wipe off the rest from my brush and just use my dry brush here. There's plenty of water and pigment on my paper already, so my brush should be dry. I'm just working that color gradually into the yellow and giving it a rest once it looks like it's kind of faded. Okay, next step. I'm going to wash off my brush a little bit. I'm going to clean it on my, notice I just kind of keep wiping it on my paper towel. I'm going to pick up a little red. I'm going to start over here. Now red is the darkest valued color, so it's going to overpower a little bit. So I'm going to give it a little bit more space here. I'm going to wipe this off. And I'm going to go back, and you can really kind of go back and forth however you like. I might even take a little bit more orange here. I went really far over here. And I'm going to start going back and forth, cleaning my brush in between, going back and forth with my color to blend orange to red. And now if I wanted to, I could add a little bit of water to kind of smooth out my paint lines. Make sure your brush is really nice and clean if you want to do this. Add a little water here and get slightly more fluid colors. And sometimes that ends up picking up your color, so you might need to go back. So just a little bit of a back and forth until you like your gradient. So this is creating a gradient. You can do this in a couple different ways if you wanted to try to go like a little bit more side to side, starting with one color on one side and another color on another side. If you were trying to make a sunset, this would be a great way to work. And this is all about controlling the amount of pigment, the amount of water on the brush and on your paper. Let me try this one more time. Kind of work my way here. Get a little water on my brush. Use that kind of smooth. Okay, so there's a couple different approaches, and sometimes what you're seeing here is Miss Horna is working a little bit too much, and it should have let it be when it looked good. So always know when a good time to stop is. But then the other thing is you can always go back and fix things. So this is working with gradients, working with blending, practice blending a couple different colors. I'm going to fix up my gradients here a little bit by going back in and adding a little bit of water and yellow, and go ahead and experiment with some colors on your own.